Welcome Magic the Gathering deck brewers, welcome kitchen table wizards. This time we are going to take a bunch of bones on a graveyard and we're going to build ourselves with it a nice skeleton deck. It's going to be a fun one, so stick around. So finally the time has come. The much requested skeleton deck is finally here because we have now the cards to make a fun, a budget, a nice flavorful but also a quite good deck. And before we start, I need to do a quick shout out to our partner CARDMARKET, the best place to get your singles in Europe, the best place to get your skeletons. And if you haven't tried out CARDMARKET, shame on you, because I have for you in the description beneath this video a €5 sign up voucher for you to try out CARDMARKET for free. So check it out. And CARDMARKET, they are also supporting our little tournament series. If you wanna win yourself a nice Modern Horizons 2 collector booster, then check out the link right here. Now who's also here? That's our intern, that is the fairy of the edits. Nora, are you ready for some skeletons?
Hello everyone, I've got a great one to start the show. Just a second.
This is gonna be good.
Oh! Hit it, boys.
Yes, thanks for this great intro, Nora. And I have some more good news for you guys. Because who is saying me Magic is a very expensive hobby brand? Well, I'm going to prove that you are wrong. Because this deck only cost me €20 to build on CARDMARKET. Maybe in dollars it's going to be 30, maybe 35, but it's not expensive at all. And it's a really fun deck. And this is what it is all about here at Casual MTG Decks. It's about the flavor, it's about the fun, and the flavor you can also find in our basic lands. So of course this deck needs to have details from the crypt vibe going, so I'm going with 10 swamps from Jumpstart, and I also added 3 forests with some skulls from Innistrad Midnight Hunt, as we'll also be splashing a bit of green in this deck. For the budget color fixing, I'll add these 5 lands. 2 Jungle Hollow, 2 Temple of Malady, and 1 Tainted Wood. I also added 2 Terramorphic Expanse, 1 Barren Moor, and these 2 spawning pools. They are must includes as they are lands that can also turn into skeletons. And to finish, I've also included a Cave of Temptation. Now normally we would start with some creatures, we would start now with some walking bones, but I need to talk about another card first. This is the card that helped me convince that it is time to build ourselves a skeleton deck. And I'm talking about an enchantment. This card is really absurd if you ask me. It's called Skeletal Swarming, and let's go over it. It costs 5 mana. Each skeleton has trample, so that's okay. And it also must attack each combat if able. Okay. And it gets +X+O equal to the amount of skeletons you control. And that's just crazy. But wait, it gets better. At the beginning of your end step, create a tapped 1/1 black skeleton, and if a creature died this turn, which is likely going to happen, you get 2 skeletons. So this card will definitely be helping us with our win conditions in the deck. And as we'll be attacking with a bunch of crazy dead men, we'll also need to include this enchantment. Moldervine Reclamation, as you draw a card and gain a life whenever a creature you control dies. Now on to the creatures, now on to the Bones Brigade. We start with some cheap skeletons we can get back. Tenacious Dead, 2 copies of Sanitarium Skeleton and 2 copies of Reassembling Skeleton. Clattering Augur can't block, but we're not really thinking of blocking in this deck. It does draw you a card and you can also return it. And the Moss Pit Skeleton comes back when, for example, you activate your Cave of Temptation. And it also works well with both Grim Roustabout and Meringue River Skeleton, as they both also can get a counter. And together with Manor Skeleton and Augur of Skulls, they also all regenerate. So this means with Skeletal Swarming, you can keep attacking and grow your army.
Bram, which lords are we playing this time?
Good question, Nora. I play 3 Dead Barons. They can boost our team and give our skeletons Death Touch. 2 Priests of Miracle, which can also make 1/1 skeletons, and a Paragon of the Open Graves. And the last one is a skeleton 2 on its own. Next up, this plant skeleton with haste called Morn Willow, and one of the Deathless Knights, which is a great combo with Moldervine Reclamation.
You also put this in your Black Knights deck, right?
Yes, Nora, that's correct. I'll put the link here if you want to check out this deck later. Now, if you're still here, give the video a like. And now, let's look at some bigger skeletons. We will start with this 5 mana Dead Tyrant, a 4/6 with Menace, and this one has whenever an attacking or blocking creature you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, which works well with Dead Baron and the Dead Priest of Miracle, as they both also make zombies stronger, and the Dead Tyrant also comes back for 6 mana. Next up is this Bone Dragon, 5 power, in the air is solid, and on a rare occasion this one also comes back, but you need to fill up the graveyard for that. And this card can help you with this. Golgari Grave Troll is banned in Modern, however it's okay in other formats, so we can include a copy of this boy as well in our deck. It comes into play with as many counters as you have creatures in your graveyard, and it can regenerate. And you can use its Dredge ability to put cards into your graveyard and get it back to your hand. The Underworld Sentinel is a card from Terrace Beyond Death, and when this one dies, it usually replaces itself with another skeleton.
Preferably a Bone Dragon.
Yes, that would be my choice as well, although I do have 2 other options. Champion of Stray Souls you can use to change your skeleton tokens with skeletons in your graveyard, and you can also put it back on top of your library. And the last one is this Skeletal Vampire. It's only a 3/3 with flying, but it does make 1/1 bat creature tokens with flying. And for 5 mana you can sacrifice a bat to make 2 bats. And you can regenerate the vampire by sacrificing a bat. Who's bad? And for this reason I included a nice artifact that is very on flavor with the last card. This Desecrated Tomb creates flying bats whenever a creature leaves the battlefield. And in this deck you'll have enough cards that can help you with this. Now I have 4 more cards to go. Putrefy is a great flexible removal spell. Plumb the Forbidden and Deadly Brew can help you sacrifice skeletons to draw some cards, or it can act as some removal. And of course I needed to include this card. Read the Bones is the most flavorful card draw in the deck, and it's also a very solid card. So this was our deck, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave in the comments which tribal deck you wanna see next, and meanwhile check out our gauntlet on the left or become a member and click that video on the right. Who's bad?